But now, when I had reached my father's threshold, and Chryses' ancient house, our home, and I longed so to carry him to the high mountains, and sought him first, he will not let his life be drawn out after Troy has fallen. He will not endure exile. You whose life-blood is fresh, whose force is still intact and tough, you hurry your escape. If heaven's lords had wanted longer life for me, they would have saved my home. It is enough, and more, that I have lived beyond one fall and sack of Troy. Call out your farewell to my body as it is now, thus laid out, thus, and then be gone. I shall find death by my own hand. The enemy will pity me and seek my spoils. The loss of burial is easy. For hated by the gods and useless, I have lingered out my years too long already, since that time when the Father of the High Ones and King of Men let fly his thunderbolt against me with the winds, touched me with lightning. These were the words he used. He did not move. We stood in tears, my wife, Creusa, and Ascanius, and all the household, begging my father not to bring down everything along with him and make our fate more heavy. He will not have it. What he wants is set. He will not leave his place. Again I take to arms, and miserable long for death. What other stratagem or chance is left? And then I ask, my father, had you thought I could go off and leave you here? Could such unholiness fall from a father's lips? For if it please the high ones that no thing be left of this great city, if your purpose must still persist, if you want so to add yourself and yours to Ilium's destruction, why then the door to death is open. Pyrrhus, who massacres the son before his father's eyes, and then kills the father at the altars, still hot from Priam's blood, will soon be here. And was it then for this, my gracious mother, that you have saved me from the blade, the fire, that I might see the enemy within the heart of home, my son Ascanius, my father, and Creusa at their side, all butchered in each other's blood? My men, bring arms. The last light calls upon the beaten. Let be, and let me at the Greeks again, to make my way back to the new battles. Never shall we all die this day without revenge. At that I girded on my sword again and fixed it firm, passing my left hand through my shield strap as I hurried from the house. But suddenly Creusa held me fast beside the threshold. Clinging to my feet, she lifted young Iülus to his father. If you go off to die, then take us too, to face all things with you. But if your past still lets you put your hope in arms, which now you have put on, then first protect this house. To whom is young Iülus left? To whom your father and myself once called your wife? So did Creusa cry. Her wailing filled my father's house. But even then there comes a sudden omen, wonderful to tell, between the hands before the faces of his grieving parents. Over Iülus' head there leaps a lithe flame tip that seems to shed a radiance. The tongue of fire flickers, harmless, and plays about his soft hair, grazes his temples. Shuddering in our alarm, we rush to shake the flames out of his hair and quench the holy fire with water. But Anchises raised his glad eyes to the stars and lifted heavenward his voice and hands. O Jupiter, all-able one, if you are moved by any prayers, look on us. I only ask you this, if by our goodness we merit it, then, Father, grant to us your help, and let your sign confirm these omens. No sooner had the old man spoken so, than sudden thunder crashed upon the left, and through the shadows ran a shooting star, its trail a torch of flooding light. It glides above the highest housetops as we watch, until the brightness that has marked its course is buried in the woods of Ida. Far and wide the long wake of that furrow shines, and sulphur smokes upon the land. At last, won over by this sign, my father rises to greet the gods, to adore the sacred star. Now my delay is done. I follow. Where you lead, I am. Gods of my homeland, save my household, save my grandson. Yours this omen. And Troy is in your keeping. Yes, I yield. My son, I go with you as your companion. These were his words. But now the fire roars across the walls, the tide of flame flows nearer. Come then, dear father, mount upon my neck. I'll bear you on my shoulders. That is not too much for me. Whatever waits for us, we both shall share one danger, one salvation. Let young Iülus come with me, and let my wife Creusa follow at a distance. And servants, listen well to what I say. Along the way, just past the city walls, in an abandoned spot, there is a mound, an ancient shrine of Ceres. And nearby an ancient cypress stands, one that our fathers' devotion kept alive for many years. From different directions we shall meet at this one point. My father, you will carry the holy vessels and our homeland's gods. Filthy with war, just come from slaughter, I must never touch these sacred things until I bathe myself with a running stream. This said, I spread a tawny lion's skin across my bent neck, over my broad shoulders, and then take up Anchises. Small Iülus now clutches my right hand. His steps uneven, he is following his father, and my wife moves on behind. We journey through dark places, and I, who just before could not be stirred by any weapons cast at me, or by the crowds of Greeks and charging columns, now am terrified by all the breezes, startled by every sound, in fear for son and father.